Hello, welcome back to 3D Drawing for Your Model Railway. In today's episode we're going to start drawing the stanchions for the side of the wagons. But before we go into doing that, what we've got to do is create a separate file, because at this point a lot of the details between the intermediate wagons and the power wagon start to deviate away from this point. So all we're going to do is just a simple file, save as, make sure we get the correct folder. I'm going to change that to power wagon, and do a save, and then we're just going to open up the base wagon again. And I'm going to close the power wagon because we're not going to be using that one. Okay, so again, looking at these stanchions, we've got two different types. On the end, we've got this one with like a recessed cutout at the top, and in the centre they're more like a solid beam all the way up. Paul has supplied me diagrams with their actual position on the wagon, and he's also supplied me some drawings he's done with all the measurements required to be able to draw these. So I'm going to jump in and we're going to start with the central ones because they're the easiest out of the pairs that we've got to do. So because they're symmetrical down the length of the wagon, we're again just going to jump back into the history and go back to where that mirror point was. I think it's about here, so it's going to roll the history back to that point. And then we're going to start by creating an offset plane on the side where the rail is. So we're going to start from the inside here. If I rotate it onto the top, you can see where I'm going to drag this. And I'm going to just drag it across minus 6.25 millimeters. Okay, so it's just down the side there. Gives us a bit of separation from the rail, because then these parts aren't actually touching up against the rail. We're going to create a sketch on that offset plane, and I'm going to slice through just so we can see whereabouts on the wagon we're looking at. Okay, so first thing we're going to draw is, let's have a look so that you can see what we're looking at, this little trapezoid part here. So I'm going to draw a line. In fact, let's project on the wagon's surface there. And I'm going to draw a line on that surface. Okay. And I'm going to define the length of that line. It's 15.5 inches divided by 1.8. And I'm going to create a point just so we know where the midpoint is, and we're going to define the distance from that midpoint to the end of the wagon, and that is 1853 millimeters divided by 1.8. So that's the centre point of where this stanchion would actually come up. Okay, and then the height of it is 3.5 inches. So the line we have at the top here will be 3.5 inches. We haven't actually got the dimensions of the angle, unfortunately. So I'm just going to draw a line across, and the height is going to, as I say, is 3.5 inches. And I'm going to put the midpoint of that line going. Should. No, it's not doing it. Okay, so let's do that a different way. Although that does look symmetrical where it is at the moment. It is. It has symmetrical because you've got just over 4 squares here. You've got the same on this side, which is fine. We do that down there, and there, and as you can see, 0.75 millimeters, and it's the same on that one. Okay, so now we've got that, we're going to extrude that, we're going to go into the wagon, and I'm going to go by 0.15 millimeters. Let's zoom that out and we'll take that on so we can see. Okay, so we've got that trapezoid shape there. And next we're going to do is draw on the inside surface of that, so on the inside of the wagon we're going to be drawing here. And we're going to draw a simple rectangle, we're going to find that midpoint, and we'll draw a line across. It's, the whole unit is 6.5. In fact, let's do it as a rectangle. Define the width as 6.25 inches divided by 1.48, and if we do midpoint, the rectangle to the bottom of the trapezoid, I'll snap that into the middle, and if we define the height is 41 inches. So 7.04 millimeters there. And then we can select both of these two parts and extrude. And the extrusion width is 3.25 inches. Okay, so that gives us that rectangle. Just notice I haven't done this radio button. It's not the end of the world, but it just should be done really. It's been much easier to follow. Because now we'll have a separate body up here, which we'll have to combine down to this one. But we've got that drawn on there. Okay, so we just combine that over. So if we do combine body, we'll bring that body for this into the original there. So that's combined. And then the next thing we need to draw is, if we look on the photograph, this part here is triangle across the bottom. Now, let's just have a quick look, is that joined up to it? So again, looking on this photo, you can see how they're not actually connected. So what we can do is draw a sketch on the inside surface of the wagon, project on the rectangle that we've just drawn so that we know we're going to be drawing down the centre of that. And it's essentially a triangle that's 4 inches on each side. So we can draw a line, zoom in so we can draw it. Okay, and we're going to midpoint that line to the bottom of the rectangle so we know we're in line with it, and define the dimensions. So it's 4 inches divided by 1.48, and then we want to have 0.69 is the bottom, so we need to have that 0.69, and we try and find the midpoint. So you see how it snaps there for midpoint, and same there. So that should give us an equilateral triangle. And then if we just define that angle in there, let's connect all that together. Then we can take the triangle and we're just going to extrude that across into the wagon. And we're going to leave a bit of a gap, so we'll do minus 5.3 millimeters. Make sure that joins. Click on OK. Excellent. So then when we mirror that wagon across, that stanchion will automatically be drawn there. So now we've got that one drawn, we'll go down to the other end of the wagon and draw the other one. So we'll need that construction plane that we put in here. So we'll draw a new sketch on that construction plane, and we'll spin this round to this side and slice through the wagon. And essentially we've got to draw this trapezoid again. You could copy it down, but I'm just going to draw it again just for ease really. So again, projecting the wagon on there, and OK, and we're going to draw that line, define it, as we said before, it's 15.5 inches. There, that's it. And we're going to put the midpoint in there and define the distance from the midpoint to the end of the wagon. This is 1233 millimeters divided by 148. And then draw that line across the top here, which we know is not the length. Define the height was 3.5 inches. What we can do is have a quick look at this one, so we can inspect from that point to that point is 1.75 millimeters. We can do the same on this one. 75, and then put that line on the midpoint of that one. Which that is not doing. So we can draw a line up here, turn that line into construction line, finish the sketch, do that again, slice, okay, and then we can midpoint that line, there we go, snap into position, put on our two lines here, that's all defined, and then we extrude it back into the wagon by 0.15 millimeters. Okay, that's our trapezoid. Okay, so these ones we're going to draw again on the inside surface. We're going to draw a rectangle initially. I'm going to put that on the midpoint of there. So the width of this, these are slightly wider, so sorry, slightly narrower, so they're 6.125 millimeters, so 6.25 inches. And the height of them are 41 inches again. And we'll select those two, and they're 3.25 inches wide again. We'll extrude that 3.25 inches by 1.8. 3.25 inches by 1.8. Let's just go back in history a second. Feature, that should be a join there. Okay, and then we've got to draw on the cutout on the side here. So I'm drawing on the side of the wagon here, and you can see on here how the angle comes outwards. so it's going to be really thin at the top. So I'm going to draw a line coming down from the midpoint, and that line, I'm going to define that as 9¼ inches. And then the next one is 8½ inches down. So from that point, I'm going to draw 8.5 inches. I'm drawing that on the side here, so we know where this point is. I don't really care about the lines. I'm going to turn that into construction, but it's this point we're after. And then we can draw the angle in there, define that angle, that should constrain all that, and then extrude it all the way through, so it's a cut. That gives us that angle. And why is that jumped in there? That's frustrating. Let's just drag those back to the correct side of the mirror. Because our history marker moved forward, so all I've done there is just drag those two from the right hand side of the mirror to the left hand side. So that's now all correct. That's given us the stanchions that we require for all 4 of these here. If we find a picture for you that's side on, you can see exactly what we're looking at there. Okay, so you can see on this picture, essentially we've drawn this stanchion, these 2 middle ones, and this end stanchion. So they're all the stanchions drawn on the side, and then when we copy this body over, they will obviously be in exactly the same place on the other side of the wagon. So we're at the point now where I think we can copy the body. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. But before we copy this over, we've got the triangle piece on the bottom here. So just going to go back into this part here, draw a sketch on the inside surface, draw that line along, and that was 4 inches. 8. Project on that rectangle, and then we can put that on the midpoint. Draw a line up that will be 0.69 millimeters, and we'll find that snap middle, and then the same line coming down, and define the angle in there, and we extruded that minus 0.3 millimeters last time. Have to be a new drawing again. Click OK. Okay, so now we can skip back forwards through all the history. Just check that we've got everything. There's nothing here, no bodies. Yep. So what we can do to copy this, we select the body we want, right click, move copy, and then do click on the create copy body, and then we're going to move it to the side slightly so we know it's out of the way, rotate it around 180 degrees. Then we're going to select this point to point button here. We're going to select the bottom left corner of the wagon there, and we're going to select the bottom right point there, and that will bring the two together. And then we've got that diagonal offset, so the rail over the buffers is in this corner here and on this corner here. We click on OK. We've got 2 separate bodies, and we can then combine body 1 with that additional copy we just created to create that complete unit there. Okay, so now we've done that and we're up to this point, we've got the stanchions all completed. I've moved the body over. I'm going to finish this episode at this point, and then we'll come back on the next lesson. We'll start looking at some of the parts above for holding the rails in place.